We're here today with Hannah Burt talking about her book of poems, the Animals Poem Book. So tell us a little bit about your book and about yourself, Hannah.
Well, I live in rural Minnesota and I am 16 years old. In fact, the day of my 16th birthday was the day that the publishers called my dad to tell him that they were publishing my book. So, my book, The Animals Poem Book, is really kind of a collection of poems and short stories written by 10 little stuffed animals who are based off the stuffed animals I had when I was a little kid. Um, the poems are influenced by the animals' day-to-day life and the way they see the world around them. For instance, Prince the dog's poem about his dislike of bathing, or Fleece the sheep's poem about all the little joys that a summer day can bring.
So that's pretty cool. So it's your stuffed animals almost coming to life and writing their own poetry. Is that
Yeah,
kind of where you came up with the idea, or what inspired you to write a book and to come up with this idea?
to be honest, I actually don't remember the exact moment in time where I decided to write the Animals Poem Book. But the thing is, I've always really loved poetry ever since I was little. Um, I started writing my own poems about when I was 10 years old, and most of them were about my stuffed animals. They were the main subject of the poem. Um, so I think it was when I was 12 or so that I decided to compile them into a big book of poems, and that was what became the Animals Poem Book. Um, I kind of worked on it on and off until I was just before my 16th birthday when my dad called the publishers to see if they would publish my book.
Awesome. So a great dad helped along in the way as well.
Yeah, I never could have done this without my parents. They've been supporting me all the way.
That's great. Well, is there anything else that you want to let our audience know, your readers know about this book?
Um, well, it's called the Animals Poem Book, but it's not just like a book of poems, like just listed one after the other. It has a story to it too. Um, it's something that you could read like a chapter of to your kids before bedtime. Um, I really had so much fun writing it, and I really hope that um, people will enjoy it just as much as I did when they read it.
Is this something that you see yourself doing again in the future, writing more books, writing more poetry, short stories, or is this kind of one thing?
Yes, definitely. I am actually working on a sequel to the Animals Poem Book. It's
Okay.
going to be a storybook, like I'll sort of where they tell the story of how they came together as a family.
That's all.
And I'm also working on a full-length novel. Actually, it's sort of like a trilogy, but I'm only working on the first book so far. So yeah, I definitely see this as a career option. I've always loved books and writing, so I think this could definitely become a career for me.
Well, that's great. We'll be on the lookout. You can grab this first book that she's written, the Animal Poems book, book of short stories and poems that kind of a story within a story. But you can grab it online through Amazon, through Barnes and Noble. It's also available through the Books app on iTunes so that you can get it on Kindle or those type of devices as well. So thanks for joining us today, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.